Imagine writing a video for your YouTube channel covering all the details on some massive changes that were being considered by Blizzard, only for literally a few hours later them to come back with a whole new set of changes which alter the narrative that you were talking about. Surely it will not happen 2 times in a row. I mean, come on, when does news happen this fast with Classic? At least give me a few days to work with here, Blizzard. So the whole we're considering nerfing Trial of the Crusader items we talked about the other day, looking a whole lot less likely to happen right about now. Today we cover the new proposed idea and a few other bits of news here and there which I missed out in the previous update. Again, these are all ideas, nothing confirmed, and they are very much looking for feedback. So Blizzard say, instead of nerfing item levels in Trial, we'd like to see how everyone feels about buffing item levels in Ulduar normal 6 item levels and Ulduar hard mode significantly 12 item levels. Past that would make no other changes. Right, so let's break out the chart again just to visualize the changes that they are proposing. First of all, right now, here's how things look if nothing is changed, with item levels in Ulduar ranging from 219 from 10-man normal all the way to 239 from 25-man hard modes. Below is Trial of the Crusader, which as you can see is a massive jump up in item levels. So let's add 6 item levels to all of the normal mode Ulduar gear and 12 to all of the hard mode Ulduar gear and see where that puts us at now. We can still see that for each version of the raid between the same difficulties, that Trial still offers a step up in gear. Ulduar 10 would now be 225, though probably 226 since 225 isn't really used anywhere else. Trial of the Crusader 10-man normal would be 232, Ulduar 25-man hard modes would be 251, and Trial of the Crusader 25-man heroic would still be 258. So Trial remains the better gearing option. It's just less of a landslide change from one raiding tier to the next, and some of those Ulduar 251 item level pieces may remain relevant even during the patch where Trial is out. Having 251 as the top end item level though is, well, it's a lot. Icecrown Citadel 10-man gear is 251. What happens to Valanir? That's 245 by default. Is that counted as a hard mode item and boosted up to 257 if this happens? How will it affect class balance? Do assassination rogues just become the literal god tier single target spec now they have the new item level daggers and hard mode gear? Do fire mages start to ramp up earlier than we've ever seen before? Maybe. It will shake things up. Though keep in mind, part of the reason Trial of the Crusader gear is a turning point for class scaling, aside from the item level, is the itemization. It offers way more armor penetration, and the tier set bonuses are also very strong for a number of classes too. But as fun as buffing gear sounds, Ulduar will be an absolute joke in terms of difficulty then, right? Well, yes, it would be, which is why, and I'm very excited to hear about this, Blizzard say we are doing pre-nerf Ulduar. A while ago, I did a video after Blizzard say there were no plans to do pre-nerf Wrath content, where I went back and checked on patch notes, and out of every single raid tier I've seen so far, Ulduar had by far the most changes I've ever seen in a single tier. There is certainly grounds to put up a pre-nerf version of this raid. They say after we actually started digging into the data around raid changes that occurred during original Wrath, we realized that Ulduar actually had received fairly massive nerfs both while it was current content and immediately afterwards. As a result, we will be implementing pre-nerf modes to Ulduar, including the hard mode bosses. These changes in some cases may make bosses and hard modes significantly more difficult than their final state, and we feel this justifies the power gain in hard mode rewards. Finally, they comment on the availability of gear with these proposed changes, noting that hard modes add items to the loot table and don't completely replace the entire loot table with upgraded gear, apart from Algalon, who is going to have a full stack of hard mode level gear in the chest, and you're only going to have 1 hour to clear a pre-nerf Algalon each week. I actually can't wait to do this. Whereas when heroic mode comes along in Trial, all of the loot from every boss is of the same item level, so it's a much bigger step up in that regard. Thoughts on this whole proposed idea? I like it more than the nerfs, largely in part because it encourages a pre-nerf Ulduar to exist, and I feel as though doing pre and post nerf content has been a great success during TBC for the likes of tier 5 with Bash and Kael'thas, as well as the Sunwell, so I'm happy to see this return. We just need to to make sure there is very thorough testing of Ulduar on the PTR, because this raid was mega hotfixed when it was current content. Moving on, certain engineering items will actually be excluded from Arena. Blizzard said a few days earlier they would allow them. However, upon reflecting on that decision fairly rapidly, here are a few items which will be disallowed. The Gnomish Lightning Generator, Nitro Boost, the Gnomish Netomatic Projector, and Hypervision Goggles. So most of these are items tied to RNG, which can win you or lose you games depending if they backfire or not. The Lightning Generator can hit the caster back, Nitro Boost can fail and apply a nasty dot, and so on. The Hypervision Goggles would force a meta where rogues would have to equip them and use them at the start of the game. It's not mentioned here, however, the glove tinkers, such as the hand-mounted pyro rockets for burst, and the cloak tinker for the parachute, which can be used with disengage for extra distance, are not removed. So the short version is engineering still looks very good, just the stuff with RNG attached is gone from Arena. Moving on, queues have made a rapid return following the release of the Wrath the Lich King pre-patch. Blizzard have also recently rolled out the low population server consolidation, and now the server list is a lot shorter, but also a lot more active. The Fresh Realms have also dropped and kicked off to much more popularity than I expected, if I'm honest, with PvP servers even seeing queues over the weekend period. The convenience and class power upgrades we all get in Wrath have made leveling just so much faster and easier in general, so they are a great chance to return if you are happy to start from the beginning again. Personally, I'm going to be sticking to my main server. The idea of farming about 7,500 gold or so for epic flying, cold weather flying, and dual spec does not fill me with enthusiasm, but you can't go wrong with a good fresh server release. You do have to wonder what's going on with layering though. On the launch of TBC, for example, my server went above 10 layers, so we know what it's capable of, and it feels like people are going to be put off by trying to rejoin their friends if they have to figure out a way to log in at 3 PM, or they're going to have enormous queues in the evening. I mean, it's not 2019 anymore with the launch of Classic. You'd hope this system would just work by now, so I hope to see it addressed fairly soon. In other news, we have some added value services started to become available. Blizzard previously confirmed the likes of faction transfers would be releasing in Wrath Classic after all, but possibly not alongside launch and sometime later. One feature we now currently have in and working is the name change service, which is on the store. The boost package has also been released for Wrath Classic alongside the launch of the pre-patch, with more or less what I think we all expected it to be. You have a heroic version, which is a level 70 character, including Blood Elf or Draenei. Not Death Knights though, you still have to level those from 55. You get the expert riding skill, which is basic flying. You get a flying and a ground mount, level 70 weapon skills, all available flight paths, green quality gear, namely collective set, and some bags as well as gold. You also get a toy which summons a little Tuskar to your side and a penguin pet. The more expensive epic version in addition to that has 30 days game time and a whalebone glider mount with visual styles to match either retail or classic. The mount is kind of OP, by the way. I think the only other mount in the game which at the moment can be used on Eastern Kingdoms or Kalimdor on the ground and Outland to fly is the Headless Horseman's mount, and that is extremely rare and difficult to get from Hallow's End. Maybe there are more mounts that do this in Wrath. I know in retail you can ride any mount anywhere, even one that flies and no fly zones on the ground, but that was added in much later than Wrath. Anyways, that's our quick news roundup. We'll see what else they have in the bag before we release on September 26th. Let me know your thoughts on all the changes we've gone over here, and as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I shall see you all in the next one very soon.